Hello, this is Annette with Project Refine Life. Welcome to my September 2022 monthly wrap-up. This wrap-up is going to be extremely fast because my girls are home for fall break and it's been very difficult for me to record. This is the only book that I bought this month. This is Meditations on the Tarot, and I saw this book on Krissie Bentley's channel. I'll put a link to her channel below. But the minute she started speaking on this book, I was in because it relates to the Yoga Sutras. So anytime that I can take the tarot and combine it with yoga, I'm in. Like, yeah, sign me up. But also, as you notice, it's a journey into Christian Hermeticism. So it also has Bible verses and how everything relates. This is only covering the major arcana, but there is so much meat in this book. It's amazing. I've only read through, I think it was The Magician. I've only read through The Magician, and I did not want to put any kind of markings on the book because this is the type of book for me that I think when I come back to it another time, it's going to hit me differently. So I wanted to just do like maybe the first read through all the cards without marking anything, just taking it in. And then later on, as I get more familiar with the books or the book and what it's trying to show me, what it's trying to reveal to me, then maybe taking some additional, because I'm not afraid. I will put all kinds of markings in the books. I will write in my books. I will put tabs in my book. I mean, it's okay. But this is so deep that I really do want to take my time with this one. And as I said, I've only worked through one card. So let's see how it goes. But this is an interesting and meaty book, guys. So I'm excited about this. One of the things that hit me really, really hard in this month was, or September rather, was that it's one of my sons, the one that passed. It would have been his 35th birthday. So it always hits me hard. And this year, I think I mentioned in another video, now I'm at the point where I'm moving past the time that I had him with me. So it's just rough. So this little journal was so helpful for me because I was really documenting and writing in everything that I was feeling in addition to my daily card pulls and anything else that I'm doing. This journal came in really, it was so grounding for me. And I've mentioned before that my little journal goes everywhere with me. If I go on vacation, it goes with me. It's really so important for me. And just recently I was looking at a video where, oh my goodness, I forgot her name, but I'm gonna link her video below because she was discussing all of the tarot journals for 2023. And I was kind of trying to talk myself into this the other day. I was like, oh, you know what? That would be so nice if I just had my tarot journal in one book for the entire year so that I wouldn't have multiple of these little journals throughout the year. But then I started thinking about it and I thought, that's not going to work for me. That's not the type of thing that I do. Like, I journal, I write down my feelings, my thoughts. I write down the rituals, the ceremonies, the things that I'm doing, what the overall feelings were in the classes that I taught. If there was anybody that stood out, if there's anybody that I feel like I really need to set my attention to within the class, like how can I help them a little bit more? And this is where I write all of those things down. So after giving it a few days thought, I'm going to just stick with my little A5 journals. Just keep it simple and keep doing what I've been doing lately, which is no doodles, no pictures, just writing my feelings, my thought, my card pulls, my thoughts on the cards that I'm pulling on that particular day, and just really put myself into this, just pour into it, because that's what I've been doing and it's been working. So I'm not going to change it. I am not going to buy a tarot journal. I'm just going to stick with this. Okay, but if I change my mind, guys, just strike that, okay? All right. So also in September, I took on like an additional 4 classes into my schedule. And 2 of them are public classes and 2 of them are more private, like senior and rehabilitation type classes. I, at one point, was trying to set up a coffee date with a new friend, and it occurred to me, oh my gosh, I can't do that because the girls are on fall break. Hello? I had lost track of time. I really have. So I went out and I found, lucky enough, I found a happy planner. Now, I talked before, I used to use a happy planner, and then this year, I don't know why or what, I was just thinking, I'm not gonna use the happy planner this year. I'm not. I need the happy planner. I really do. I'm gonna try to skip to the back where maybe I don't have a bunch of things written here. Okay, here we go. So the happy planner really helps me stay organized because I can just open up to the month. I can put anything that I need to pay attention to here, and then my weekly schedule, I just load it up here. And this is the type of layout that I liked. I don't even know what this layout is called, but it's been so useful for me, and I've been just documenting everything and looking at this journal before I get my day started. Like, this is part of my daily routine. Again, that's what I used to do, and I stopped, and I became really disorganized and forgetting what I'm doing. So I'm back to this. And then always, guys, I don't use fancy pins. I use erasable gel pins because I don't see how people do it. I really don't. I would love to know the secret. But I am so thankful for an erasable gel pen because I can put things in my calendar and move them around if they change just by erasing them. And even when I'm journaling, like sometimes I get to writing so quickly, so fast, it's so sloppy, I don't even understand what I wrote. And sometimes I really want to, so I can go back and erase and write it over with a gel pen. So no fancy pins for me, that's all I need. Let's get into deck pairings for the month. So I'm only going to share the main decks that I worked with, just so that you can see where my main work was and how I felt about it. So this is the Bonfire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. And if you've been watching my channel, you will know that I love the Tarot Avatara by Gabby Angus West. And then I worked alongside it with the Dirt Gems, which is another one of my absolute favorites. I think I've shown this pairing before. I can't remember, but these two, the colors and the depth of the cards, grounded by that black color, the background, oh my goodness, guys, I really needed this fire in my readings this month, and these two really provided it. I've seen this deck trimmed with the black off, and although it looks good, I really feel like this deck needs that black border to ground it because it's fire. It really is. Now the Tarot Avatara is more of a Thoth-based deck, and then this is an RWS. And I don't know, with this deck right here, I know that this deck only has the title, but the guidebook is worth the additional work. It's not a long read for each card, but it's enough, and it's so deep. It's so good, guys, that these two are just so wonderful together. I'm going to keep these off to the side because I did work with it in another manner, which I'll share with you in just a moment. So let's continue before I get into that. So another pairing that I used was the She-Wolf Tarot, along with, see, I am just all crazy here, along with the Begin Oracle. The Begin Oracle is kind of new into my collection, and I enjoyed working with these two together. The She-Wolf Tarot, it really is a very caring deck. Like, I really like this deck, and to me, I've always said that this one feels like the element of water to me. It's such a caring and emotional deck. It is just beautiful, and I really, again, I needed some tenderness within my readings this month, and this combination provided it. And look at how good these look together. That's another thing, guys. I'm going to say it. I need my deck pairings. I need them to look good together. I like the aesthetics. So, and these two just played off each other so well, and it was a caring and beautiful combination. New to my collection this month is this deck right here, which is the Tarot of the Strange Antlers. Now, the antlers are actually branches, but I have a full walkthrough on this deck, and I fell hard for this deck. Really, really hard for this deck. I really like it. And I worked with it alongside the Moon deck. Now, the Moon deck is one of the decks that I have loved ever since I've had it, but it's been a hard one for me to pair up with as far as the looks of the deck. And these two work so well together. And again, it has that same caring and beautiful, loving feeling with both of these decks. Now, this deck right here, as I said, I have a full walkthrough, but there's so much emotion in this deck. There's so much that she displays through the art here. And then the Moon deck is such a deep, these are both very watery type decks. It was so good. I really loved this combination together. And it was kind of hard for me to put this one down because I was just taken by it. Just the art and the emotions. And, you know, this is all French, this particular deck. It's all in French. But I didn't need a guidebook with it. I don't need it at all. I did translate a couple of them, but there's so much here. And you can tell so much by the antlers or the branches that what direction it's heading into and how the feelings are being presented to you through this. I mean, look at this. Oh my goodness. The Three of Swords depicted here with this tree. I love this combination. This deck is so emotional. It is so good. It's available on Amazon, and I have to say, I really, really like it. I think it's so worth it. Another combination. Now, even though I'm not sharing like all the new decks, I kind of am because this was another new deck in my collection. And of course, you guys know too, I love the Story Medicine Tarot collection. They're so good. Now this, let me go ahead and take this out before I drop everything over here. This is the Animal Woman deck, the second edition. And this is a new deck, which I have yet to do a walkthrough of, but I really love it. It's called the Eternal Souls Oracle. And my goodness, guys, this is so beautiful together. This title down here, or the keywords that are here, it's both in Spanish and English. And there's no guidebook with it, but you don't need it. You really don't. It is a beautiful, beautiful deck. And these two, oh my gosh, you guys, the Animal Woman Tarot is such an emotional deck as well. Like, it's at that point, I always say the first edition is a deck for me that is in that time where you're trying to figure out who you are, and the Animal Wisdom is when you step into who you truly are. The words within this deck, the way that they're presented, it really does inspire such emotion, and it's like somebody flicks a switch for you to start thinking. And then this deck, the way that it has these little keywords on the bottom, it's heaven. These are heaven together. They look so good together. They read so well together. And this deck, it kind of takes a turn from your actual tarot meanings just because you have these keywords, but it worked beautifully together. So I can still ground into that Seven of Swords type of meaning, but then you have these little sayings on this deck, and it just opened up a whole new world for me working with these two together. I loved them. I didn't even bring out the first edition of the Story Medicine to work alongside the Eternal Souls Oracle, because I was just having such a great time with these two together. They're just beautiful together. Another new deck to my collection was the Samia Tarot. Now I can't remember if that came in August or September. I think it was August. And this is an amazing deck. It is a darker deck. So I don't know, some people may not like it. I kind of like my darker themed decks. But as far as even the tones, it's really more like grayish and darkish, but you can't really notice that right now because I have lights on in here so that, you know, you guys can see what I'm doing. But I like to read in my living room, which does, it does have a darker tone in here, so it's a little bit more difficult to see. But this deck, it kind of takes you in another path as well. I mean, it's called the Samia Tarot, and it's really, it hits down to the bones in a sense, which is why I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try it along with the Energy Archaeology deck. Oh goodness, you guys. These two together, it was really getting down. And like I said, this was a difficult month for me. So putting these two together was really getting down to the root, into like what is really at the cause of what I'm feeling today. And these two were just hitting home. It was amazing. And exactly like the medicine that I needed. I haven't been able to put this deck down, to be honest. I'm still working with it this month because I got another deck in that I will share with you soon, but not in this video. And they're just working so magically together. But these two together, this really roots into what's going on within the body and how are you being affected by it? How is it working for you, and what is the cause, is how I kind of use these two. Oh my goodness, guys, amazing. Okay, the next combination that I'm going to share with you is the SelfLove Tarot and this yoga deck right here that is created by the same, well, it's made by the same creator, Hannah Turkoli. I don't think I'm saying that right, but it's called Yoga for Every Body. And I kind of started playing with this deck alongside my pulls, my daily pulls, when I was working with the Bonefire and the Dirt Gems. And I just thought one day, you know what? It was in the morning before a yoga class. You know what? I'm going to try to work with it. Those are the backs. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to work with it alongside my yoga cards here from this creator because it's colorful and it's pretty and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It looks good, right? But I really did like the way that they paired together, the way that they read together, because again, I was really able to dig in deep. So what does this pose mean to me? So every pose comes with like an actual, like, what are we working on emotionally within this pose? How are we utilizing this pose to get into the deeper parts? And that's really what the poses all are really, to me, what they're really all about is working on a certain aspect emotionally. It's releasing trauma from the body or releasing emotions from the body or working within the body. It's medicine. Yoga is medicine. So working with these three together was really, really cool. But remember, it was a hard month for me. So what I did is for my self-care type of Sunday type reads, where I just want to have an easy and beautiful read, I thought, well, of course I have to work with it alongside what would be its natural companion, which is the SelfLove Tarot. And you guys, I love this deck. I really do. It's cute and blingy, but this deck is so soft. It's so kind. It's so beautiful. Like if I need a hug, nothing else but a hug. This is the deck that I turn to. I adore this deck. And even within this deck, she has a lot of yoga poses kind of infused within the tarot deck as well. And I'm a sucker for that. If you show me a tarot deck that has some yoga poses in it, or an oracle deck, odds are I'll probably buy it, because, you know, it's my main thing. It's what I do. It's how I navigate through life. I mean, yes, I have all these healing rituals, and I do Reiki, and I do all of that other stuff. But seriously, it's through this movement, through this yoga, that I am able to unite and, you know, be in union with my body, with my soul, with my spirit. Everything really comes down to that for me. It really does. It helps me get through everything. And then working with these two together, so I would pull my one yoga card, and then I would pull my 2 or 3 tarot deck or tarot cards, and it was really an amazing read for me. And you wouldn't think that you would get that from an oracle deck that's really based on yoga poses. I mean, you could put a flow together from this particular deck if you wanted to, but I really use the emotional aspect of each yoga pose as my main source, or my main energy, or my main focus, and then paired it up with the tarot deck, and it was amazing. It really was. So I think this little combo here has really become one of my little go-tos as far as, there we go. There's my bump, guys. You know I have to bump the camera at least once, right? You know that. But that really became one of my main go-tos in September, and I think it will remain as one of my go-tos. So that's it, guys. That is my roundup for September. I appreciate you guys. I wish you a beautiful day from my heart to yours. I will see you later.